What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. One of the things that I warn people against doing, and that is being prisoners of the moment. Because we often do it. I've done it. I've done it. And that's why I try not to make these bodaciously, declarative statements after a great performance. You could be in a trance and, not thinking 100% clearly and taking everything into context. And you say things that afterwards you start thinking about, like, wait a minute. I think I jumped the gun on that. I do believe that Steph Curry is rising higher and higher in the NBA hierarchy. But because of one game, think about this now. It's a tremendous game. But because of one performance in the afterglow, people are already saying, oh, that's it. He's greater than Magic Johnson. I'm not telling people how to think. If you think he's greater than Magic, that's your prerogative. But let's calm down a little bit. And see, this is a guy right here that has a knee-jerk reaction to a lot of shit right here. This is Cowherd. After yesterday's 50-point game, it's time to have an adult conversation. You are looking at it, not Magic Johnson. Steph Curry is the greatest point guard ever. It takes a few of these moments. Steph and Magic, neither were great defenders, but at 35, Steph has a long way to go, and Magic retired at 31. Actually, it was 32. The three-point shot is here, and for the next 100 years of basketball, I'm going to take that over Magic Johnson's innumerable assists. The game has changed. That's his mistake right there. You're comparing Magic's career against an era where people shoot threes. Why are you taking a guy that played in an era that was totally different, and you're comparing him to a guy that's benefiting from the era that he's playing in? I mean, let's be honest, right? Isn't Steph benefiting more than anybody else from an era where the three-point shot is the primary weapon? Also, let's be honest, I don't like saying this a lot, but a lot of these screens that set up guys like Klay Thompson and Steph and others would have been called illegal screens 10, 15 years ago. But let's go forward, all right? Steph has evolved and changed the game. Like I said, Steph has influence and popularized three-point shot, but I've always argued that it was actually analytics that changed the game. Because Steph, and I'll tell you why it's really analytics. Steph came into the league in 2009. Steph didn't really, quote, explode until 2015. So those 6 years where he was playing the same type of style, three-point heavy, why weren't we hearing Steph Curry's name then? Because the change was already occurring. Gradually. 2010, 2015, the three-point shot was already starting to become more and more of a thing. Kobe Bryant's last championship team, the league averaged 18 three-point attempts. Even the Heatles, 2012, 2013, 23 three-point shots a game. 2014 Spurs, I think the average was like 26 three-point shot attempts per game. It was already a changing, evolving game that was getting rid of these big lugs like Kendrick Perkins. You're starting to see more stretch bigs. Remember Danny Green hitting all those threes in the 2014 NBA Finals? That's before Steph Curry won a single championship. Patty Mills, all these other guys that were shooting threes. Remember that? This is before the three-point marksmanship of Klay and Steph being put on display. Remember the three-point marksmanship of Ray Allen and Mike Miller and all these other guys? The evolution picked up after Curry, but it didn't start with him. Let's go forward. He used to give you a playoff clunker once every 3 or 4 games, but you don't get those now. Well, I don't know now. I mean, the day he did shoot 9 for 29, but Golden State has holes in this roster, and he fills all of them. He's very much like Jordan and the Heatles, and he fills the holes. Steph reduced De'Aaron Fox to looking insignificant. No, it could have been the finger injury that left De'Aaron Fox looking insignificant, but okay. Magic Johnson was 6'8" and handled the ball. We had never seen that, but now 7-footers handle the ball. Oh, I see. So you said 100 years from now, because of Steph Curry's influence, the game will be what it is. But can't we also assume that 100 years from now we're going to see 7 feet tall Steph Currys? So it's okay for you to do that, but you said Magic didn't change the game, but apparently he did, because you're saying now we see 7-footers handle the ball, but Magic was doing it at 6'8", 6'9". So he was changing the game. This is how Cowherd gets most people when I see through this bullshit. Magic Johnson did change the game because he played in an era where someone who was 6'9", there was no such thing as a point forward or tall point guards of that nature. If you were 6'8", 6'9", 220, they put your ass up front. They put you in the front court. You had to be a power forward. You had to learn how to be a power forward. Whatever skill set you had in high school or even in college, in the pros, you were going to play power forward. The Lakers already had, like I said before, Norm Nixon. They wanted him to play power forward. Magic was relentless and wanted to play point guard. They didn't think he could be successful. The rest is history. I'm not going to let these guys do this, man. This isn't against Steph Curry. But what I don't like is this shitting on Magic Johnson. This is what they do, man. They do this every fucking postseason. And then when I'm defending Magic, I'm have to make points that don't go for Curry, and then all of a sudden I get transferred into being a Curry hater. This is what happened when I was doing this against Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. They were attacking Michael Jordan. I'm defending Michael Jordan. By defending Michael Jordan, I have to make some points that are going against Kobe. Then magically, I'm a Kobe hater. That's the shit that pisses me off with this shit. That doesn't feel as historically relevant or jarring. This is a shooter's game, and it will be for the rest of time, and Steph is aging beautifully. Whether it's a decoy, his movement, his skills, his ball handling, I'm going to take those points over Magic's assists. Magic was never a great shooter. Neither was he a great defender. But Curry at 35 looks like he's got 4 or 5 years left to dominate playoff series. Steph Curry's tempo, pace, movement, skill, ball handling, and shooting is one of one. I thought yesterday was the clincher. We are looking at the greatest point guard ever. He can beat you so many ways. We've done 30 for 30s romanticizing Knicks and Pacers playoff games where they scored in the high 70s and low 80s. That's no longer the game. It's not about not liking Magic. It's about loving Steph and how he fits the game of basketball for the last 10 years on and on. That is the greatest point guard that has ever played the game for a variety of reasons. Well, first of all, we got to think about all the rule changes that have happened that help guys like Steph. Like, you talk about defenders. Well, defenders have been taken out of the NBA. You can't really defend guys. You got to use your feet to defend people. Then they had the freedom of movement rule, which pretty much just eliminated defense altogether. You can't really impact a guy offensively. You can't even do it, or you're going to be called for a foul. 30 years ago, they would have ran Steph Curry up the three-point line. 30 years ago, a player would be picking up Steph from time, from the time he inbounded the ball onward. I mean, he got the inbound. Like Scottie Pippen did Mark Jackson in the 98 finals. See, when you don't give a guy room to operate, It makes it harder. 30 years ago, when Steph would be penetrating, going to the basket, there would be a lumbering big ass center or a shot blocker, making it harder for him to score. So at the end of the day, I don't get what some of these dudes are doing, man. Also, yeah, Magic Johnson wasn't a great shooter, but neither is LeBron James. But you guys have him as the greatest. See how that works? See, when it comes to Steph, it's about his shooting and his shooting skill. And I'm supposed to take that over Magic's passing. But when it comes to LeBron, it's about his accolades and his numbers and all this other shit. But Steph, skill-wise, is better than LeBron. So why doesn't it work for that too? At the end of the day, Magic Johnson, 5 championships right now to Steph's 4. He's been to 9 NBA Finals. Steph has been, I believe, to 6 NBA Finals. Gotta think about it. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, he's been to 6 NBA Finals. Steph has 2 Finals MVPs, 1 Final MVPs. Magic has 3 Final MVPs. Steph has 2 league MVPs. Magic has 3. Steph has led the NBA in steals once. Magic led the NBA in steals twice. Steph has never led the NBA in assists. Magic has led the NBA in assists 4 times. And also, if you're really talking about point guard, as far as being a floor leader and facilitator, Steph has nothing over Magic. You're talking about scoring, then yeah, Steph runs goddamn rabbit circles around the tortoise that is Magic Johnson. But point guard, he's not a better point guard than Magic Johnson. And then another thing that I want to say before I end this video, Magic Johnson was able to take his team to an NBA Finals without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and without Pat Riley, right? When Steph did not have Klay Thompson, he wasn't even taking his team to the playoffs. Now, I know a lot of people not going to like that, but I'm sorry, I don't like this Magic slander all of a sudden. Why do you have to slander Magic? Why can't you just say, well, you know, Magic Johnson was great, but I think Steph is better because of this? Nope, they got to shit on Magic Johnson. So when you do it back, the haters have a problem with that. The Magic haters or the old school haters have a problem with that. So it is what it is.